What do you want to be when you grow up?
A nurse.
Why do you want to be a nurse?
I think it's nice. Fireman.
Really? Why?
Because I want to put out fires and save people. When I grow up, a teacher, a policeman.
A policeman? Why?
Why? Because I like to fight a lot. Because it's hard to catch robbers.
Why would you like to be a lawyer?
Because you get a lot of money. Drive a truck like my Uncle Kenny. I don't know. I want to be a geologist.
Our kids are our future. For all too soon, they will be out of school and thrust into the world of work.
I want to be a nurse.
And then we will be their patients.
Because I want to help people. A bricklayer.
Live in the houses they build.
Because my dad's that. I would like to be a lawyer.
Be their clients.
Space scientist.
And even their employees. Their wishes and dreams. How real are they?
Be a banker.
I want to be a professional tennis player.
They will hold jobs that don't even exist today. Some will go into the careers of their choice.
Next summer, I'm going to welding school.
Architect.
Others by chance.
Well, probably go to college.
Every year, 2.5 million students leave our schools and enter the job market without any career preparation.
If I go to college, I just have to go and see what I can get into, you know.
Who should prepare our youth for the time when they will have to go out and work?
I wanted to be a photographer, but I don't know.
In the next few minutes, we will see and hear how our children and their educators are looking to us in the world of work for help.
You know, you have to really build yourself up. I don't know if I can do that. You know what I mean?
Dr. Chet Duggar is an educator who wants help from the business community. As Director of Curriculum Development for the schools of Peoria, Illinois, he is concerned about the isolation of children from the world of work.
There was a time when the average young person not only had a position as a student at school, but they had a role to play in the mainstream of society while they were at home. Very often that took the form of working in the back of a store or going off on a Saturday to work with a neighbor farmer or a brother or something of this sort who had his own farm. They helped their mother or father in the business that helped bring in the livelihood for the family. And they generally had a part, and an important part, in sustaining the life of the family.
Small-town rural America is fading. We now live in a world of shopping centers, industrial parks, department stores, and supermarkets. When children go to the store, who do they see? Cashiers and baggers. Where have all the butchers, bakers, farmers gone? There are products, packages, things to buy. How do they get there? The most familiar places in a child's world hold mysteries. What skills are required of the hands that run the machines? Where do the grown-ups go when they're off to work? Our mobile lifestyle takes us easily from place to place. Places to live and other places to work. The child is removed from this workplace. Coming into a city, he sees buildings, shapes. What do people do inside? There are jobs, floors and floors of jobs. Jobs held by mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers. But what do they do? What is it like to be a manager, a clerk, a service representative, a key punch operator, a foreman, a machine operator, a purchasing agent, a marketing planner? How many children know what their own parents do on their jobs? What is it like to work? Through film, we will visit several communities throughout the country to see how business provides experiences to make education more meaningful and relevant. We start with career awareness. Here in the L.C. Curry School in Bowling Green, Kentucky, these first graders have been studying about food. Now they will leave the classroom and go out into the world of work to meet people who do the things they have been studying about. Their visit takes them behind the scenes of a very familiar place.
It does that. It puts the time that you punched in. And then when you leave, you punch out, and then we'll figure out how many hours you worked. When these fries get ready to come out, this white part up here is going to turn green, and it's going to buzz.
They have come here to find out more than just how food is made.
Do you have to go through high school if you can work here?
No, you have to be at least 16 years old.
How old are you?
Me?
You. How old are you?
27.
27.
Too old, right. Pardon me?
Who owns this place?
Okay, this is what they call a franchise store. That means a person or a group of persons owns it. They bought the rights from McDonald's to use their name. How many different kinds of jobs are there? Okay, we have what we call stations. Like a person that works meat, he works just meat only. Then we have a French fry person, and we have our different counter people. And of course there's us, the managers. We do what we call float. We work everything where we need to be.
It takes a team effort. It takes everybody working
together
together in order to make the whole thing go right. It takes a team effort.
Shannon, do you remember what the clerk does in McDonald's? What do they do?
I give money to people.
They take their money, don't they? They give
Take their money and pay them back.
Can you use pennies to pay for that?
The visit will not be easily forgotten. Their teachers use world of work experiences to teach basic subjects. These children now understand that the arithmetic they do in the classroom is the same that they will need when they work.
Pay 4 pennies for that.
Actually, as far as the mayor's job, you don't have to have any kind of formal training. But I feel like that a good mayor, whether it's me or who, or whether I am a good mayor or not, doesn't have to be an expert, but he should be very knowledgeable of everything that's going on in the city.
It doesn't have to be the mayor. Every business has people who can change school subjects into living examples.
Okay.
What is it like to be a mayor?
What's it like? Well, sometimes it's wonderful, and other times it's not too good. Like yesterday morning at 5 o'clock when some lady calls me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't like it too well then. She had a complaint because there was water in her basement. Yes, ma'am.
Could a woman do this job?
Yes, ma'am. A woman could do this job very easily.
This class has been studying about weather. They need to learn from people working in the field. But there is no weather forecaster in Bowling Green. Yet each night, these children see the familiar face of the television weatherman from Nashville. Although too far to visit, they can still learn from him.
Morning, how are you?
Just fine. How are you?
Very good. Everybody there?
Yes, we are. We have a 6th grade class here. This class has some questions that they would like to ask you in regard to your work as a weatherman.
Okay, fine.
What does a meteorologist do?
Well, a meteorologist does a lot of things in the way of keeping track of the weather. There are different kinds of meteorologists. Some deal with weather up high in the atmosphere. Others think about marine weather. Others agricultural weather and so on. But as a general rule, they simply provide all the information that we get about the weather from day to day and over a long period of time, too.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio.
I think she's done a real good job. First, just to be working on them 2 days, really good. Okay? These states lie in the middle part of our United States.
It's not that we're not trying to still teach the basic skills. Reading, writing, and arithmetic still has to be taught. What we need to do is to recognize that we can teach the reading and the writing and the arithmetic, and we can teach it in a mode that is much better in terms of the theory, in terms of what we know about learning, and at the same time provides other information to students that they need desperately. That's providing a service in the society that we live in today that wasn't provided yesterday, but is needed today.
So we'll look forward to going to the bakery and seeing this process. The wheat that came from these states here by either truck or someone said ship or train to Kentucky, to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then seeing it made into a loaf of bread and maybe go into your house. Okay?
And Steve's treasurer. And Steve's treasurer, okay. So with those officers then, you decided to go corporate, right?
Our children live in an industrial society. The schools of Mesa, Arizona have recognized this by replacing the traditional shop course with an exploration of the world of American industry. First, they will form a company. They choose between a partnership, proprietorship, and a corporation.
Partnership limits you. You got the same slice of the pie as everybody else, and so you wanted a bigger slice and you were willing to pay for it.
They work together to manufacture a product. They learn the skills and the problems of the production line, repetitive workstations, the responsibilities of line and staff management functions.
So you can get these to your production manager now and have him take over for another set of gluing.
Okay.
Okay?
Quotas and quality control.
Cited is off about 16.
Other school subjects spring to life as they draw on them to solve the problems of the workplace.
Right on the button.
They have invested their own real money against future profits, and so they will learn about real money problems.
We don't have enough money to pay for any, as of right now.
You don't have enough money to pay for anything?
Because we may have enough money, we have enough money to pay for this, but if we add this on, we don't have enough money. And we need to buy the packaging for him. The packages for the thing.
And that's why it's credit, huh?
And the ditto copies.
How can you get two over here? So we'll get you that price of credit, right?
Okay. So in other words, you want to carry it out? You want to carry out with your application for credit at this time? Okay, let's talk about it.
We're having a meeting.
Having a meeting? Come on.
We got to apply for credit. Our company is broke.
Right.
That's good. How did we go broke?
We got more wood than we need.
I did if I did.
How much money have you for the interest rate of 5%? All right, that's what we're voting on.
Wait 1 minute. What will be, how much will we have to pay besides, with the 5%, how much money will that be? 12 bucks. Okay. When will we get the money? Will we have the credit now? As soon as we vote on this, we vote for it?
Would we?
Immediately.
How many opposed to it? Anybody opposed to it? We will have it then, credit.
Okay, the only reason now that we've ever had a meeting at all is so that each of the stockholders in this case are aware of what's happening in their company. Because otherwise, things are happening that you're not aware of. In a very large company, you probably wouldn't have had to have this meeting at all. But we're small enough, and we want to find out what the whole thing is about. So you guys now have 75 bucks worth of credit. Go to work.
All too soon, the time comes when getting out of school is no longer far off. Plans have to be made about the future. The community of Fremont, California, is helping their young people in an unusual way through career exploration early in high school. It begins with a week of testing, not skills of the classroom, but of the workplace, motor coordination, manual dexterity. These tests have been developed by the Department of Labor to measure skills used on thousands of different jobs. How language is used, basic computation, spatial relations, clerical perception, objective measurements which will allow these students to compare themselves with people on the job. Then a different kind of test, the interest checklist, to inventory their likes and dislikes. These are different from other interest and aptitude tests. Their results relate to 24,000 occupations identified by the Department of Labor. There will be no scores or grades, but an interpretation so complex, it has to be done by a computer. Still, there will be a lot left for the students to do, and some surprises.
All my life, and then all these just like, I hate all this stuff. Just, yeah. God, you don't like very many things. Neither do I. I got all the help. Ooh, you don't like anything.
It will take another week for them to interpret the results of the tests. Guidance is not a brief meeting with a counselor. Here it means learning a process which will enable them to counsel themselves through life.
It's finally starting to all come together. I was wondering why we were doing all this, and now
Okay.
I can see.
But you see, the point is, if we showed you some of the jobs in the beginning, and the minute you got to something you thought you wanted, you say, oh, great. Now what else do we do? You close everything, you turn off. We're trying to open up whole areas, multiple jobs for you, so that as an adult, or later on, you can move from one place to another knowing other possibilities that you might be interested in, and that you qualify for, that fit all the kinds of things, fit who you are and what you want to do. Okay, you work on that and finish it, then we'll move on to the specific jobs. Okay? In your particular case, it's a little bit different. Your printout came back saying that you are qualified for all occupational aptitude tests. Don't put down particular jobs that you're not interested in. Only pick the ones that really interest you.
All right.
And wouldn't it be neat if you had a whole bunch?
Yeah.
What a beautiful number to draw from. Okay?
I'm going to do them all.
Then you can do them all. Well, you can get into the exploratory program. Then you can go ahead and start checking some of these out specifically.
Okay.
Because what you're learning here is on paper. And what you have in your head may not be reality. So the next step for you is to go out and check what you think you want to do with what the world of work is really like. And Mrs. Newell in the exploratory program can set you up with that.
Oh, is that what you do? You really go out and...
You go out. You spend about 20 hours, right, and see if what you think the job is about is really the way it is. Okay, so we have sort of two steps in exploration. One is internal, finding out who you are. That's what you're doing here. The next one is to move out and to go check it out and see if what you are fits with what you think you want to do out there. Okay? So sort of internal and external exploration.
You brought up apparently one of the guys that was arrested out there a few weeks back does belong to a motorcycle group around L.A. I don't know which person you were referring to.
The schools can give job information, but it takes the rest of the community to give experience. With these police officers being briefed before patrol are two students interested in law enforcement careers.
The job can be scary sometimes, and there's lots of times when it can be an absolute bore.
6463.
There are many, many hours that you'll spend in a patrol car by yourself,
Service 38863 Fremont.
where the radio is going to be quiet, where there's going to be no activity, and you'll be out there by yourself in the dark, checking buildings. You've ridden with an officer once already here?
Yes. I rode with Steve Lawrence. At a night. And I know what you mean about the boring hours, kind of like because it was a Friday night and around 4 o'clock, nothing happened.
Yeah, there's lots of time like that.
266 for the unit to cover 601, Violet 1051.
Street is collared.
Go ahead and start unbolting the carburetor.
Okay.
If this engine was running, your hair would be caught in that timing chain.
Okay, you want me to go put a beanie on?
If you have one.
Yes, I have one. You want me to go put it on?
Please.
You want me to pull them all the way out?
So usually when we fill this medication, we use a little label over here to stick on it, and it says, may cause drowsiness, use care when operating a car or dangerous machinery. And that's warning the patient to be careful because this may happen when they're using a drug, you know. Okay. I think the drawbacks of the job right here as we're practicing it now is my hours are 9 in the morning to 10 at night, 365 days a year. And you eat on the job. Don't go away from work, you know, to eat. You're here.
when you're in your own business or have a store like this, you're doing the same thing over day after day. You know, in retail pharmacy, the pharmacist currently, the general feeling is overtrained at the moment. You spend all these years in pharmacology and subjects on how the drug works and what drug is used for what disease state and that type of thing. You spend years doing this, and you get into retail pharmacy, and you stand here and you type the prescription and you fill it.
Jack Andrus, formerly with Texas Instruments, is now with the Dallas Chamber of Commerce.
One of the great things that our economic community did recently was to survey the top 500 companies in the country and say, what is the number, in priorities, if you were going to move, what are the things you're looking for? And believe it or not, the first priority came out to be education. Now, not just public education, but all kinds of education. Not tax rate or utilities availability or whatever, but educational opportunity. Well, that woke us up.
The result was the Skyline Career Development Center. This high school teaches through occupational clusters rather than academic subjects. This is a class in architecture. Like all architecture students, they design houses, draw blueprints, and even make models. But here there is a difference. These houses are built. In a residential neighborhood about a mile from the school, several homes in different stages of construction have come off the student drawing boards. When they are completed, they are put on the open market for sale to the public. The houses are entirely student-built. The plumbing, carpentry, wiring, and cabinet work is all done by the construction cluster. The landscaping, interior design, documentary photography, even the printing of the sales brochures is supplied by other clusters. But Skyline is not just a trade school.
You don't preclude the aesthetics. You don't preclude English or world history or Latin or any of the other classic courses. You don't leave out the liberal arts. What you do is you bring them into a context in the real world.
What sort of a poll did they take?
If this were the typical English class, about half would graduate and go on to college. The rest would look for the kind of jobs they could get with no career preparation. Of those that go on to college, statistics tell us that about half won't graduate. What kind of jobs will they get? But these Skyline students graduate with skills the community needs. Mark wants to become a dentist. In the morning, he takes traditional high school courses to prepare for college. In the afternoon, the courses to prepare for his career. Some of these students will graduate from high school and work as dental technicians. Others will go on to college and eventually dental school. They will not have to wait 4 or 5 years before they hold a drill.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it or if I'm going to be able to get the grades to go. At least I can, you know, be somewhere in the field because I like the field of dentistry. And this way, I've got a kind of a head start. If they get, you know, if someone calls in and want a job, they'll send you out. It's kind of like on-the-job training. Like a couple of young dentists who work next door, I talk to them and they tell me all this stuff that happens in dental school, that they try to discourage you, you know, get all the bad apples out. Man, it's cold-blooded. That's all I got to say, what they do to you. They say, boy, keep with it. If you want to do it, just stick in there. Because it's going to be hard, they said.
Some careers, you need college. It's simple as that. You really do. But for commercial art, you really don't. Next year, I'm going to be here, and then after that, I know, you know, I'm going to look for a job. I'm not going to look for college.
My dad had the idea that he's in the impression that if you don't have a degree, that you won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, that's wrong. Things like that are changing now and getting a lot of new ideas.
My dad, I just, you know, said, I didn't think I was going to go to college. Fist hit the table, the plate shook, and he says, you don't think you're a what? And I kind of, you know, and I cried and I left the table. And then he came back and apologized to me and told me, well, it's really, you know, your choice, I guess, but I didn't get to go. And if I had gone, I would probably be working in an office right now. And really.
And that's not true. I mean, what's the big deal about working in an office? I mean, someone who
dig stitches can make as much as somebody who works in a big fancy office if they really do.
Electrician.
I mean, I don't think it matters what kind of job you have. If you enjoy that job, that's what really counts.
Right. Wonder what it would look
try
like
it.
if I use this.
All right, try it with the small brush. Now hold this firmly. What is this, animated or is it going to be stop motion?
It's going to be animated.
Good.
But for others in this commercial arts cluster, exposure to new fields combined with a realistic appreciation of job requirements meant the decision to go to college. This student has not only discovered film production, but also the need for a college education. Career education is more than learning professional skills. It is becoming a professional. The transition from classroom to workplace is carried out through mock job interviews, writing resumes. They learn the importance of punctuality, the meaning of job performance. They will not be strangers in the world of work.
This is not charity we're working on. This is not some intangible kind of thing. This is in Dallas, 150,000 school kids every year. The only way that we saw that we could get in and maintain our level of commitment was to do it on the same basis that any businessman makes any other investment, and that is his own enlightened self-interest. We are in it for the good of the free enterprise system through the students, that they are our resource, our city, our whatever, hotel bellboys or our doctors and surgeons or whatever beyond. And if we expect Dallas to do the kind of job we want to do across the board, whether humanities or city services, then we must service our resource better. So it makes economic sense, you see, for Texas Instruments and all our big employers and the utilities and the banks and the insurance companies and LTV to get involved in these things, because they are going to get a better input. Therefore, they have to spend less money, or we'll have less welfare, or whatever, or happy combinations of these kinds of things. But it's all done on the same profit and loss stimulus that should, and hopefully will continue, to nourish this economy.
Our tour of career education is over. We have seen how business helps make basic skills relevant and more meaningful, how it helps young people find themselves and discover their future roles in society, at work and at leisure, as members of a family and a community. How career education bridges the gap between school skills and job skills, makes dreams into plans.
You know, everybody has an idea of what they want to do.
And it is with these ideas that our future is going to be built. Now it is time to think about your community, your children, and your schools. Can you make it your business to get involved?